Hi Fad Campers, it's Grace here and I have some new stand updates I'd love to tell you about. If you're based in the UK, I will be doing some dates in July and August and I'd love to see some of you there. I'll be in Leeds doing a work in progress with Amy Annette on July 4th in the Hyde Park Book Club. I'll be in Brighton on July 6th with Alison Spittle in the Comedia Comedy Club, and I'm going to be doing my own work in progress show in Glasgow on July 12th at Good Egg Comedy. Also then I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe, of course, for the entirety of August, from July 30th to August 24th. I'll be at the Assembly George's Square at the Crate, 10 to 3 every day. Would love if you could tell anyone you know who's going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe to come see my show. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
What's the best way to reduce? Eat plenty or starve yourself?
30 pounds in just 18 weeks. Jenny Craig totally worked.
I love to eat, but overeating made it impossible to lose weight.
My body wants bread, and I'm going to give my body what it wants.
Oh my God.
So I lost
Naturally.
Medical studies prove that overeating is the number one reason for weight gain. If you need to lose weight, use safe and natural springs away and bring your weight down without the use of the same
Welcome to Fad Camp, a podcast that throws a comedy eye over our societal obsession of diets. Now, a little disclaimer, we are not health experts, but we are fad diet connoisseurs. I'm your host, comedian Grace Mulvey.
And I'm your co-host, Conor Dowling.
Welcome to Fad Camp.
Conor, we are back, baby. We're back.
Are back. I am delighted to be back.
It has been a long time since we've been able to record. Me and Conor have been like basically world travellers for the last few months.
Yes, travelling, moving. COVID has been in the mix a couple of times as well.
We both got hit with COVID. Can you believe?
Yeah, not to disclose too much information, but let's be fair. It's Fad Camp. You're going to hear about our personal life. So let's just run through the entire experience while we're here.
Every crevice of my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sorry that it has been so long. We're actually now recording remotely again because I am currently living in London and Conor's back in Dublin. So we decided this is the only way to do it. But you're going to get a little bit more video, which is nice.
Yeah.
You actually get to physically see us. It's very good.
We can see ourselves and we are feeling ourselves. No, that's saying a lot for us.
Guys, I think it's with Fad Camp, maybe our confidence has grown, but we were literally like, aren't we gorgeous?
Yeah, I'm fixing my hair and pumping my beard right now. It's just
we feel so beautiful. These camera. All I can say is invest in a good webcam, and I swear to God, it'll change your life. You will actually be like, I'm stunning.
It will change your life. The whole pandemic, we went through the pandemic with our crappy laptop webcams going, why is my face so distorted and pale and pink?
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at my face going, Conor, you're of value. You are of value to the human race with that beautiful face of yours.
Because you look good. You're of value.
Yeah, because before I was like, I am not a value. I'm a waste of humanity.
Yeah. So we were really going against the whole ethos of the podcast where we were like, oh no, if you don't look good, you're crap. Okay. But now I understand the Kardashians a bit more because I'm like,
exactly.
Lighting with the webcam is essential.
Cannot stop touching my hair. Okay, I'll stop.
Conor, do you know what we're going to talk about today?
I actually don't. I'm so excited though.
Okay, clothes sizing in shops, Conor.
Oh, the bane of my life.
Have you ever, do you enjoy going shopping, Conor, for clothes?
Grace, I love clothes. I love nice clothes. I love cool, different types of styles and all that. And
why don't you ever wear them?
It's coming. The gloves are coming off.
It's happening.
It's early in the morning, Grace. I wasn't ready for that. Oh my God, I need a minute to recover that. We're going to take a brief intermission.
Yep.
So, no, Grace, I hate going clothes shopping. It's triggering. It's triggering. Yeah. It really is.
There's a lot of
End of episode. We have nothing more to say about it other than.
Do you enjoy clothes shopping? End of episode.
No, and I'd rather not talk about it. Grace is like, oh, I've got all these pages of stuff that Conor, you're not going to like this.
Did a lot of research on this, Conor. No, there are so many memories I have. I think actually all of them negative. I don't think I have one positive memory of going clothes shopping. All negative memories, particularly being younger. Like, I don't know how I found clothes as a teenager because like it just wasn't out there. I basically lived in like those kind of parachute pants, like oversized parachute pants, tearaway O'Neills. Like, I know O'Neills don't mean anything in people in the UK and the US, but like, trust me, the O'Neills are a big deal. Do you remember it? Like Normal People, the guy in Normal People was wearing those O'Neill shorts, and it became
Paul
like
Mescal.
a second fashion.
And Phoebe Bridgers, for our American pals, Phoebe Bridgers was seen wearing O'Neill shorts when she was in Ireland. So everyone was like, oh my God.
And I'm going to say right now, my 16-year-old self did not look like Phoebe Bridgers in a pair of O'Neills.
We're like the true to life version of Paul Mescal and Phoebe Bridgers. We're the plus size version of them.
We're the plus size podcast version of Paul Mescal. You're just wearing that. I actually am wearing a gold chain. Do you know you wear the gold chain? Normal people. Okay, anyway, we're going off point. But I don't think I've ever had a positive experience in a clothes shop. And one thing I will say is I always thought it was because I am fat and have been weight fluctuating throughout my life. But actually, even talking to a lot of my thinner friends or thin friends, a lot of people struggle when they go into clothes shops. Okay. And that is because obviously we live in a time of like universal sizing. We don't get to clothes tailored to us. So everyone going into a shop is pretty much having an experience of kind of like having to, I think kind of like really look at their bodies and go like, okay, so what size am I? And then also like, you could be a size in one shop and then the next shop you go to, you're like 2 sizes up or 2 sizes down. And so everyone's having an emotional breakdown going into these shops because they have no idea what their size are.
Absolutely. Well, I thought you were going to say everyone has to look at their bodies and say, where did it all go wrong? Because that's what it feels like when you're in the dressing room.
Sorry,
and you're
am I talking about myself here? Where did it all go? Imagine that's all you hear when you're in clothes in the changing rooms is you being like, where did it all go wrong?
Just every single stall. Yeah, like, I mean, and when you step into that little cubicle to get changed and, you know, you're faced with the harsh light and you're surrounded by mirrors on all sides and you're just like, oh my God, there I am everywhere I turn.
Every time I go into a changing room, I'm like, I can't believe my back titties. Because all I can, there's like mirrors. It's like a personal hell. All I'm seeing is like, and as well, can I just discuss the lighting that is in a changing room? Like, right now, as we said, the webcam has changed my life because I suddenly look incredible under this lighting. Why can't we get some good lighting in a changing room? Why does it have to be the harsh lighting of an interrogation room? I look shocking under those lights. It's like I can see every vein in my skin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I suppose if you were given the choice, you would never get changed 6 inches from a mirror. You know what I mean? Like, the mirror is like right in front of your face and you're like taking off your clothes like you're that exposed. You know what I mean?
6 inches from a mirror. It's so true. Like, why am I in this dungeon of hell? So, yeah, listen, I wanted to discuss clothes sizing today because it was a topic that actually I put off kind of attacking, even though I was so interested in it, because it seems like a really big thing to discuss, even though we all know in our like very right minds that there's something wrong going on with the way companies size their clothes, because it seems like every company sizes it in a different way.
Is there Grace, are you going to bet to uncover some corruption? It goes right to the top. You're like, I thought we were just doing an episode about clothes sizing, but this goes deep, Conor. You're like, this goes all the way to Joe Biden.
There's going to be a movie made about me where like the CIA are at my door one day.
Oh, it's going to be like Aaron Brockovich. It's going to be like Aaron Brockovich. It's going to be so fucking badass.
I'm a plus size Aaron Brockovich going down into a sewer trying to find the clothes sizes, and you're like, why are they in a sewer? And
you're like peeling away labels going, this large is actually a small.
And then some woman's like, you need to leave now. Stop looking into this. Like the woman in the shop, and I'm like, she's like, stop asking questions.
Yeah. I've already said too much. You have to go. Your whole family's going to be in trouble.
You don't want Primark on this, okay? You do not want Primark on this.
Oh shit, no. In fact, they're probably coming after us after this episode.
Yeah, H&M are outside waiting on me.
Don't worry, Head Stuff will have our back.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the podcast network. Like, we're protected, okay?
Yeah.
So, actually, just a little quick story before I even go into all the research I have done on this.
Tell me a story, Grace.
Once upon a time, there was a chubby little girl named Grace. So I'd love a princess tale to start it. Once upon a time, there was a little chubster walking around. So
once upon a chub-a-lub did chub.
We have gone so off topic. I'm going to start this story. So,
can we write a children's book called Once Upon a Chub?
Chub. And it's just about a little chubby princess.
That'd be cute.
Once upon a chub. And she always eats the lollipops, Chubba Chubs. So I worked, just after college, I got like this sort of internship thing in a fashion agency, right? Now, I just want to little tell you something, Conor. This was my motivation days. So I was peak disordered eating, really in a bad place.
Motivation being season 2, episode 1 of Fad Camp, the very destructive and intense diet regime Grace was on that almost drove her to madness.
Almost. Doing very well.
Yeah, she's doing quite well.
As you can tell from
she never recovered.
Episode.
She never recovered emotionally. But yes, so just so people know, that's what you mean when you say peak motivation days. Okay.
Yeah, so I was on this very motivation being it's an Irish kind of diet program. So I was really I was probably at my lowest weight ever, but also incredibly disordered eating. Like I remember those days very distinctly. You know, when you have certain times in your life where you can remember the food you ate every day, and it's it's sort of. It has a colour of like blue or something because it was so depressing. But I worked in this fashion agency, and basically what the fashion agency did, it was where designers would send their clothes and we would represent the designers, and then basically boutique owners would come in and they'd decide what they want to pick from each designer to sell in their boutique, right? So all of the clothes were in there were a sample size. Can you imagine what the sample size was, Conor?
Small.
Basically an 8 to 10, a UK 8 to 10, okay? So very small sizes. I managed to fit a jacket one time. I was very happy with myself. But of course, then I was like eating cottage cheese while doing it and be like, I'm so happy. So the woman who worked there, I'll never forget it, because we were talking about, you know, because the jacket I was able to fit into, I was not a size 8 to 10. But for some reason, I was able to fit into this jacket. So I was kind of discussing it with the woman who ran the agency. And I was like, you know, I'm not this size. Like, how am I able to fit into this? And she went, and this woman, by the way, was like model-esque herself. And she goes, listen, sizes are bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now. I do not look at sizes. I look at the fabric. She was like, I can be like a size 8 in something and then a size 16 in something else in this very showroom. She was like, essentially, all designers and people who create clothes are allowed to go up 5 inches or below 5 inches of a certain number and call it that size. So you could be a size, technically say a size 12, and a designer could go down 5 inches in that size and still call it a size 12. So it was something that really kind of like, and obviously that's very anecdotal, and like I was like, I don't know if I can take that as gospel as to what, you know, the whole industry is about. But the fact is that a person who was working in that industry went, oh, I don't look at sizes. Like basically the boutique owners who come in could go, oh, that pair of jeans from that designer is a size 12. Fine, we'll just say it's a size 12. But then this top will say it's a size 8, even though another boutique can come in and totally change that sizing. So that's why when you go into different shops, we can get so upset because we'll be like, I have it in my head that I'm this size, and yet I'll go into flipping H&M and a sock won't go over my foot. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, why am I doing this? So that was the kind of the way I was coming into
Next thing you're on
research.
A foot diet and you're just trying to lose weight from your feet. It's a whole fucking journey.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been trying to lose weight off my foot. My pinky toe is too fat. My fat little pinky. So, Conor, the history, let's go into a bit about the history of clothes sizing. Conor, I just want to ask you a question. What do you think in human history has had the biggest impact on clothes sizing? On our modern clothes sizing? Oh, he's rubbing his beard. He doesn't know.
Oh, damn it. That's my tell. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what angle you're
fair
working
enough.
here.
I should have known you wouldn't guess. War. War has had the biggest impact.
Of course. It's like, what? Like the advent of the sewing machine.
And I'm like, no, it's that really destructive war that we all.
No, it's actually nuclear warheads. Conor, how did you not know that?
So, okay, universal sizing is a fairly recent invention with earliest records resembling contemporary measurement standards at times dating back to the Middle Ages, right? In 1589, Juan de Alguia, a Spanish tailor and mathematician, authored one of the first works on tailoring complete with illustrations of pattern shapes. Garments were made individually, so they had to be ordered in advance and were generally available to a limited number of wealthy people. Okay. But then, like, say, in the early 19th century, tailors finally started sharing their methods by publishing them, only to discover there was a total disarray of metric systems and lack of standard sizing. Because, like, obviously they were making it, bespoke clothing. But basically, the real development of universal sizing was ultimately spearheaded by war. So the Crimean War and the American Civil War required unprecedented numbers of uniforms. And so full body sizing systems were developed, making it possible to calculate like parameters based on like chest size measurement and stuff like that. So I just thought that was really interesting that it was like, because they needed uniforms for war, they were like, we need to be able to like make basically a ton of jackets, gorgeous jackets for people to die in. God. But but that's
and when
it's
they
dark, but it's true.
And when you go shopping and try to find the clothes that fit you, it is a kind of war in a sense.
It's still a mental, emotional, and psychological war,
and sometimes physical.
It is when I'm trying to get in those jeans. Okay, so yeah, basically, but as you can imagine, that led to like men getting their patterns for combined chest, weight, and leg measurements. So that came out with like kind of a single set of sizes that were rolled out for menswear, but obviously not for women. So that was the problem. So men and women's garments are generally based on different size systems. Men's clothing are primarily defined in terms of body measurement, while women's clothes are basically kind of given a coded number of like to correspond with bust, waist, and hip and height measurements. Sure. Basically, it just means that men's clothing is much more, and I do notice this even with jeans. Like my jeans are always like, well, I don't know if I want to give it away, but I'm coming up to a size 16. But basically, like jeans are always like a 12, 14, 16, 18. But men's are always like, a 32. You know what I mean? Like I'm always like, why do they get the waist and leg measurements? The dudes get it all. In 1939, the US government funded statisticians to collect waist measurements for over 15,000 women. Okay. But Conor, what kind of women do you think they tested in 1939?
I mean, we're talking the era of like the Great Depression, I can't imagine people were particularly rich in
poor people. Yes. Very poor people, because they paid them to take part in the study. So once again, it was malnourished women, but not only malnourished women, malnourished white women. So they did not measure any kind of woman outside of the white. Yeah, exactly. So white women were the only ones who were measured. So as you can imagine, this if you're only taking measurements of kind of malnourished white women, you're going to get a very specific type of measurement. So as a result, the data set represented basically not a particularly diverse group of women. So the 1941 study was the basis of all women's clothing sizes in the post-war era, says Lynn Baradi, who's like a department head and professor at the Oklahoma State University. Over the years, and the data was, it never, basically also over the years, the data was always used, and it also never strayed far from the standard hourglass shape. Okay? Despite the fact that 8% of women in the US have a true hourglass shape. So only 8%.
Oh, okay.
So if you think that we are all trying to go for that sort of hourglass figure and yet only 8% of women have it, then we're really struggling. In the UK kind of had the same type of, obviously I'm looking at as I say, like so much research I can only ever find really on the UK or the US. The UK kind of had the same issues where in the First World War it gave a boost of factory production and clothes factories. So there was a huge like possession of numbers of male body measurements, but not a lot for women. And then, of course, you came with the Paris fashions moved in with the corseted figure, a more natural shape gave way. And that was between like 1908 and 1913. Only in 1970 was a labelling system for children's wear introduced, okay?
Yeah.
Similar to that provided for women's wear.
And like, I mean, think about Ireland, like, you know, you see photos of like your parents when they're children, they're wearing like a jacket and that's their entire outfit. You know what I mean? It's just like covering
and they'll
their
let you know
entire
that they
body.
walk. Exactly, they'll let you know that they walk like 5 miles in that jacket just to get to school, and you'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
And also, at a certain point, you know, even in Ireland as well, kids they didn't make shoes for kids. You know what I mean? Or like kids' shoes were very rare, so like they'd be like, you know, wearing like, you know, their parents' shoes or hand-me-downs, or just like hurrying the fuck up to like so they could fit into these shoes. So like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it wasn't the 70s till they were like, did you say it was the 70s that they started labeling stuff for children? Children's,
just labeling, like giving a size. But they measured it kind of similar to women's wear, which is why I'm like, I find this very interesting where I'm like, if we're still starting out from a point, right, of women's wear being based on kind of malnourished white women, and then you go, and children's wear was kind of given the same measurements. I do find that interesting that sometimes I'm like, I remember when I was younger, I would be put into like women's clothing a lot quicker because I sized out of children's clothing, but there's not that much difference sometimes. And that's scary. And you do find that even like some grown women will be like, yeah, I can fit into some children's clothing. And I'm like, I just think we might be actually undersizing women. But anyway, very quickly, just to end it, then you have alpha sizing. The S, M, L, and XL, that kind of sizing. This
which is what I would be more familiar with.
Yeah, these sizes have been like used for t-shirts, stretchy casual clothing. Basically, brands combine 2 or 3 numerical sizes into a single letter size. So that's how they kind of get away with that. So instead of being like, say like, oh, once again, the sizing that would be like 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, they'll just go, oh, we'll use like 16, 18, 20, put that into one size and that'll be XL. Do you know what I mean? So that's how kind of brands get away with that. And with fabrics like Lycra becoming more popular, you know, it makes it easier for online shopping and all that sort of stuff. Retailers have found as well that the male segment prefer shopping like that with the kind of for their clothes in an S and L, M or L kind of fashion. So obviously with the modern problem that's come is that retailers now have to cater for a lot of diverse people. You know what I mean? There's diversity out there. But it has led like different brands owned by the same corporation will often have inconsistent sizing. Now that is mad to me. So if you have like the same corporation that might own like say Zara and H&M, they'll just have totally different sizing systems. Shout out to Zara for always being an absolute hell to go shopping in. And then of course you're talking about different sizing between countries. Do you know what I mean? Like the US has, I think a 14 in the US corresponds to a 16 in the UK. Like there's like 44 in France, 42 in Germany. That's why, like, you know, sometimes you'll look at it and it's a totally different like size.
Oh, like you have to go online, or when you're shopping online and you're trying to buy something from abroad and it's like, I don't know if this is going to fit me. There is one site that called tpublic.com. A lot of podcasts like do their merch through TeePublic, and they got really cool different types of shirts and all that. This is not an ad for TeePublic.
Are you saying we should get merch?
Possibly. Well, let's see what our fans think. If our followers or listeners think we should get merch, if you'd like to wear a little FadCam t-shirt with my face or Grace's, Team Conor, Team Grace, hashtag Team Conor, hashtag Team Grace. You know, this is all just coming out of nowhere. Like, honest to God, I've never considered this ever at all before. But the thing about TeePublic is, you know, you can kind of customize your t-shirt. So I want this design on this type of color t-shirt on this type of material, right? And this type of fit. But then you can also have the sizes. But what's cool about the sizes is you can click into it and it has a sort of guide. Maybe this is a common thing across lots of different sites. I don't know. But it has all different types of models, different types of body types, different types of skin tones.
Great. Yeah.
Like live action photographs of people this is a person in a small, this is a person in a small with a loose neck, this is a person in a medium, extra large, etc. And they're all in various like body type and skin tone models, you know, so it really gives you a great idea. So you can actually look at it and go, oh, that guy is about the same ish size as me, and that's what that shirt would look like on me, you know.
No, I think that's perfect. And like also I think it's great. Team Conor. Oh, do you know what? That'd be really upsetting if like we did a Team Conor, Team Grace. This is like back in the day when they used to have Brad Pitt. You remember like the Jennifer, you'd be like Team Pitt or Team Jolie or whatever it was.
It's like Grace, the team Grace tank tops aren't selling too well. I don't know what to tell you. You're like, Conor, my garage is full of Team Grace tank tops. We need to fucking do something about this.
Imagine I'm like, I can't keep wearing a Team Grace t-shirt myself. I need someone to buy this.
It looks like you sold one Team Grace shirt.
Fuck yourself.
We joke now. It'd absolutely be the opposite.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious. You know you're loved. Right. So yeah, well, do you know what? Team Darren. We didn't even think to buy one. Right. You know, so the kind of the future of sizing, right? As you said there, you do see now online retailers in particular being like, okay, a lot of people are buying online at the moment. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go into like sustainability or anything like that. That's not what we're here to talk about today. The world's ending.
Yeah,
but
fuck sustainability. To quote Grace.
This is why the Team Grace t-shirts aren't selling.
It says fuck sustainability on the back. That's why. You signed off on it. You signed off on that, Grace.
But you know, you do see that online retailers are using a lot more like diverse models, and they're trying to show that like what kind of fabric is going to work. They'll have sizing charts and stuff like that. But obviously it's still not a very like, I still find as well, particularly on ASOS, which I would have bought with it quite a bit, you know, even when they're using the models, it tends to be quite a jump. I will say that in sizing. So like I'm kind of one of these weird in-between sizes, right? And like sometimes you'd be like, you'd look at even the plus size section against the straight side section. I'm using that in quotes, but that's just the way I'm going to describe it. Like there's quite a jump actually in body type difference. So it's like you still don't get like, unfortunately, a lot of the middle ground, like the kind of mid sizes in there as well. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just want to say, kind of they say about the future of clothes sizing is going to be essentially they're trying to use kind of different technologies, which is like brands hire things like Fit Analytics or TrueFit to advise e-commerce customers on their size that they should buy. So they're going to try, I think, starting to use things like not only your weight and height, but photos of you that you might provide to the online retailer. Fit prediction technology, unfortunately, has some like challenges. Okay, basically, like in order to kind of understand what someone's size is, it's actually like you need not only weight and height, but sometimes, like particularly with women, you need their bust size. So more recently, attempts to predict size have failed because customers didn't understand why certain data needed to be collected. Okay, so we all understand that you might need like your waist size to understand what type of jeans you wear, but apparently you might also need your bra size. So like JCPenney in the States tried doing a kind of fit prediction about 12 to 15 years ago with pants. They would ask questions about bra size and it completely confused people, even though it was a valid question to how they were going to fit people into certain jeans. So it's a really, like, basically if you have a fuller bust, you're more likely to have a fuller hip, which means that like you might actually have to go up a size in jeans. It's so overly complicated. It just shows you how different people's bodies are. So basically, fit prediction technology has been tried already, but it has totally failed. Basically, Japan's Zuzu, which was like an app, launched an ambitious custom clothing project in 72 countries in 2017. It was named one of Time's best inventions in 2018. It was a social media hit. And you could use like a cell phone camera basically to capture the measurements all over
do like
your body.
A scan of your body kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I hope they don't use this data incorrectly. Imagine they were like, all you need to do is send us nudes and we'll tell you what clothes to wear.
I'd love if you did it. I'd love if you did it and they just sent you back like parachute pants, O'Neill's tearface.
Imagine I took pictures and they were like, you need to cover that shit up.
They're like inconclusive results. You're like, what does that mean?
They're like, they just send you a poncho. Actually, one time, Conor, I'll tell you this, right? It's so funny. Like, this is how, like, I feel like this is just how I feel like my body is just a bit mad. A bit wrong. Okay, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Basically, one time on ASOS, they were like trying to figure out my size. So they ask you for like,
there's a
weight,
crack team of fashion designers trying to figure out Grace's size. What could it be? It's like a think tank. There's like 10 people in a boardroom. They're writing on the windows and doing equations and shit.
It's a beautiful mind. We can't crack this. Basically, I put in my weight. I put in my height, right? I said calculate, and it literally came up as this. We cannot compute your size.
No.
It was literally, we can't work out your size
come on.
based on your height and weight.
Motherfuckers.
But like, I was like, oh God, that's devastating.
Yes.
But I'm quite a short person and I weigh a lot. But the thing is, I also have a lot of muscle. That's why I always talk about BMIs being bullshit, because I'm like, well, I am able to fit into your clothes. But they literally were like, you're not human.
They're like, are you
not a
sure
human
you
being."
didn't send us the measurements for a motorbike?
Oh, anyway, sorry. So anyway, Zuzu Clothing, the app, even with all of this great technology, a lot of the clothes didn't fit people properly and their profits fell. It was kind of like they had a lot of troubleshooting issues. Like, basically, like...
No. The science is there, people. I blame the people, not the science.
It's like, you know, when you're like, we come up with a vaccine for COVID like in such a record time. How have we not been able to find out what my size is? How's ASOS, like the ASOS site, my laptop just blew up the moment I put in my weight and height. They're kind of like fashion media and academics predict a sort of clueless style avatar that might help people, you know, sell customers on a style and fit. Clueless was way ahead of its time. Like, I want to talk to the writer of Clueless, because like, it's amazing that they were able to like do this, like take, you know, like it was the dream that you had like a wardrobe like that where it was just fitted and everything. Absolutely aspirational.
I have a similar experience and little story. If you're ready for a once upon a chub,
once upon a chub. Can I just say that should be on our t-shirts? Go on.
And then on the back it says "Fattily Ever After."
Oh, I love that. Go on.
I think I should just my career change into just designing merch, because it just flows.
Conor, I just want to say that like we started off an episode being like, we're going to talk about clothes sizing, and then it was like literally Conor's brainstorming meeting for Bandcamp merch.
and coming up with my new catchphrase, which is #Team Conor. I just said that every time I met people. I was like, hey, it's going nice to meet you, #Team Conor. It's a compulsion at this stage. I really can't help myself.
Team Aniston, Team Jolie. Yeah, go on.
I went online at the start of the year, and I was feeling like kind of, you know, motivated and wanted to change up my style a little bit, and kind of, you know, because I've always struggled to find clothes that fit me, and I often, you know, get to the end of the rail and the shirt that I like they don't have it in the XL or the XXL, which is, you know, normally what I want. Not to be giving away too much details. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I literally was like, I'm not going to give my size, but this is my size.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So often, you know, even just if there's a shirt that I like, because it's hard for me to find clothes that I actually, you know, like and will be like, yeah, I would wear that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I just purely just hate, like, and then possibly hate it because it just absolutely would not be particularly flattering on me because of colors or patterns, etc. That's a whole thing in and of itself. But I went online and I started like looking at a lot of these like sites with like the kind of plus size models and like what looks good on like plus size men and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I found a bunch of stuff, but there was this one site that I came across that was like, you know, find the clothes, you know, for you. And we have a whole, they're based in the UK and they've probably been on like fucking Dragon's Den or some shit. And basically the model is basically, we are like a kind of database / online tailoring service. So you put in all of your measurements and point out some of the kind of styles that you like, and then our like supercomputer genius algorithm will like scour all of the available like stores and warehouses and sales, and you will get like, you know, given like a personal like, you know, virtual tailor who has like experience in the fashion industry, and you know, they will like send you an email with like, you know, tips and ideas for what to wear, and they will also send you like, here's like, you know, loads of different outfits and shirts and combinations and trousers and, you know, jackets, whatever, and here are the links of where to buy them, you know.
Conor, this is making me so nervous. I'm like, oh God, this will be bad.
No, it's not that bad, but like, I kind of, whenever I see something like this, like it's, I don't get my hopes up too much, because I have been let down with similar kind of stuff and gone into shops, massive shops, and just found like fuck all and nothing. Just stuff that I don't like. And, you know, the whole thing is that they'll send you links to stuff as well. So you can just like, here's a shirt that will fit you, that you supposedly will like and that will look good on you. And here's a link to just buy it and order to your house. So it's kind of like cuts out all of that annoying stuff of going into a shop and trying clothes and all of that like triggering stuff we talked about. I remember like, you know, I sent off my details and all of that, and I filled out the thing, and I was like, right, forget about that. 4 days later, I get an email like, hi, I'm Jean, your fashion assistant or whatever, or your virtual tailor. And there's this whole spiel. It's like loads of like text, and they've written like this whole thing, and I'm reading, get down. And they have found 3 shirts in the world that they think would be passable on me. And Grace, these 3 shirts were fucking shit. They were so like, there was like, you know, a navy fucking shirt, like, and like 2 other shirts. I can't even remember them, but I just remember being so like, I laughed. I actually laughed. It was so underwhelming, and such like, it's that kind of thing of when an algorithm does the job, and it's like, here you go, here's your new wardrobe, but the algorithm doesn't realize how hilarious it is to send someone 3 crap shirts and be like, off you go, Mr. Fashion Star.
Basically, you. I love that, like, you got 3 shirts and I broke ASOS with my measurements.
And but you know what the thing is, had I just have been putting all my faith into that service, I might have been very disappointed. Do you know what I mean? I might have been like, there's nothing for me. Nothing will fit me. These crap shirts that I could probably find in Pennies or in Dunnes or whatever. But in that 4-day period when their computers were their think tank were like, you know, brainstorming for things to fit me, I went online and I went on different sites and I looked at different sizes. I looked at the models and all that, and I found a bunch of stuff that not only did it fit, but I actually loved. You know what I mean? So I found stuff and that's the fatally ever after part of the story. That, you know,
fatally ever after.
I had to do my own kind of research, and I had to do my own kind of work, and it was definitely more work than just being, you know, a certain body type and going into store and just picking stuff off the rack and it fits perfectly.
But I will say this,
is the fantasy.
This is the thing, right? That's the fantasy. But what I think, Conor, is actually it's fantasy for most people. A lot of people I know, even when they go into shops, will pick something out and go, I actually don't know if this will fit me or not. I'm going to have to try it on. And they, again, could be a size 12, so whatever, and go in and they're like, no, this is way too big, way too small. I'm going to have to. And a lot of people, ASOS do a free return, and that's probably why they're so kind of popular. They do a free return, and that's because so many people haven't a fucking clue what their size is, really. They basically have to look at something, go, I think I'm kind of like this model who's wearing it. I'll order it in this size. I think it might fit. The amount of times I've bought stuff off ASOS, I've bought a wide range of stuff, tried it all on, and maybe in the same size, and I swear to God, it's like a 50-50 chance. And sometimes and that's what I mean about when I got that advice from the woman in the fashion agency, where she was like, you literally have to look at clothes. And that's why algorithms kind of don't work in a way. And like the technology can only go so much, because we have to actually look at the fabric. You have to look at the clothes and go, okay, this is kind of a bit, you know, like, and also it's like, you just have to look if it's lycra, if it's like a bodycon dress. Like if I'm going to wear like a sort of smock dress versus a bodycon dress, it's going to be like different sizes I'll choose. I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but like, you know,
the algorithm only sent you those 3 links because you gave very specific measurements and they went, these are the measurements.
Exactly.
So we're going to get their size, and actually didn't look at the fabric where you're like, oh, like I know this will fit me and I know this will look good on me.
And
that's
you know
where
what
it's
else
kind of, you know,
I've even found in that online side of things is even when you find the stuff that you like, you know, that you're like, oh, I do like that shirt, I do like that jacket.
Yeah.
What are the sizes that are always the ones that are sold out? And it's the same in the shop, but you can see the little X'd out, you know, side. It's like the only sizes that are left are like the small, the medium, you know, the extra small, whatever, even if they have that. Because, and I think it's quite common as well is for people to buy a size up, you know what I mean? To buy a size up, especially when you're online, because you just go, fuck it, I'll buy a size larger and it will fucking shrink in the wash, you know? Because you ever buy something that fits perfectly and then like 6 weeks later, you're like the Hulk, like fucking hulking out of it, like, you know, it's like, it just like shrinks. Because of fast fashion, a lot of the stuff we buy, like, which we haven't really talked about, because to quote Grace, fucks sustainability, you know, a lot of the stuff that we're buying is fucking shit quality, dime a dozen material that is basically going to shrink in the wash and going to wear and tear. So it's like, some people are like, fuck it, I'll just buy I'll buy an extra large and an XXL and see which one fits. Now, I don't know if I've really done that, but I can imagine people kind of having that approach.
I've done the thing where if I really like something and I will buy 2 sizes of it online so that I can just see what the hell it is. Yeah. But you know what as well, and this was great, a little tip that I found.
Hit me.
The actress who plays Shiv on Succession said, I was watching an interview with her and she said, what have you kind of learned? And she said, one thing I've learned about rich people is they all buy clothes. They all buy clothes. Clothes. They don't buy clothes, they buy clothes. They buy clothes in bigger sizes and they have it tailored to their body.
Oh, yeah.
So she said, I will now buy clothes in a much bigger size, get it tailored to my body, and then suddenly you have a tailored outfit. Wow. And I was like, now, not everyone obviously can afford this. That's the, you know, but I was like, it is something now that like I try and buy less cheap clothes, buy better clothes and go into a tailor because, do you know what? I'm sorry, but yeah, I've got a broad back and small tits. It's going to be difficult to get an outfit for me. Like, and I'm not being like, you know, I'm not putting my body down, but I'm like, if only 8% of US women have an hourglass figure, I'm imagining that kind of goes for probably a lot of other places. Now, that's probably based on white women again. I can't talk to the study, but like, I have to say that like, so the fashion industry isn't basing a lot of their clothes on diverse people. They're basing it on a very specific person. So I have to work kind of almost against them and go, right, well, I'm going to have to go bigger and then go home and then like get it tailored to me. Can I just say one other thing I want to say when you told your story about, you know, when you're in a shop and you're going through the rack, there's a certain humiliation to the way that you have to go down the rack to get to your bigger size. And I'm like, I'd love to go to a shop sometime where they have the big sizes at the front and the small sizes at the back. Because like, you know, when you're like, there's something, a quiet humiliation to moving the, you know, to moving like the scratch the metal as you're moving the clothes forward and you're trying to get to your size at the back and you're just like, it's just always me. I basically don't even look at the front. I just shove everything forward and go to the back. And I'm just like, can we not once have the large sizes in the front? Like, fuck it. Why not? Why not? Let's go mad.
It's funny. When I was in America recently, there was a shop that I went into where it was for men's clothes and it was kind of had a bit of a TK Maxx kind of vibe to it, but a bit more of an emphasis on clothes and like maybe like kind of better quality stuff. Yeah. But they had these kind of circular racks. I don't know what you call them, but they had like each one was almost like a section for different sizes. So like only go to this rack if you're looking for like small through medium. Only go to this section if you're looking through medium to large or whatever, you know, and then so on. So you could kind of just bypass all of the painfully like, you know,
yeah. That's not a bad idea actually. You know, segregate the sizes. That's what we want to hear.
Keep it separate.
Separate, buddy.
We want our own store.
Right.
Hi, welcome to Size Me Up. What are you looking for today?
Yeah, hi. I just want to buy some jeans, but how much are they?
Sorry, I can't seem to find price tags on anything.
Ah, yes. Well, we price our clothes depending on how you look. If your body's acceptable, we charge you a normal price. If you have a hideous body, I get to decide how much it costs.
What? What's an acceptable body?
Hourglass.
So how much are these jeans for me?
Well, for an hourglass, it's 50. For you, 350,000.
What? Where are you getting these figures from?
Oh, well, surely I can give you an itemized breakdown of what I'm seeing in front of me right now. Wide shoulders, easily 20,000 straight off the bat. But...
Yeah?
You have small breasts.
Oh.
So, I'll take off 5,000, no problem.
5,000, come on.
Sorry, my mistake entirely. 5,000 times 2. But those thighs of yours, we don't have enough fabric for those thigh-lows. We will have to make a special order. That's 300,000. So you see where I got the number from.
But...
I know you're ready for the bad news.
What's the bad news?
Your ass.
My ass?
Yes, it's the mass of your ass, Grace. You have what we call a premium derriere.
Thank you.
Oh no, it's not a good thing. It's very costly.
Of course it is.
And your calves are weird.
Well, how much is that going to cost me?
Oh, nothing. I just don't like them. But that's my personal opinion. Now, do you want these jeans or not?
Yes, please.
I Know That Face is a movie podcast on the Head Stuff Podcast Network, hosted by me, Stephen Porzio.
And me, Andrew Carroll. Our show is all about character actors. The type of performers you'll see pop up in supporting roles in blockbusters. The type of people you know the faces but not the names.
Each episode we pick one particular character actor and discuss a couple of their movies, shining a light on the performer's career while giving listeners plenty of movie recommendations. So the show is a must for cinema lovers.
Subscribe to I Know That Face wherever you get podcasts and follow us on Twitter at I Know That Face P1.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the episode. If you want to hear more bonus exclusive content for Fad Camp, make sure to log on to Head Stuff Plus, and for as little as $5 a month, you can support our show and other shows in the Head Stuff Podcast Network and hear exclusive content from Fad Camp. That's bonus episodes, photos, videos. It's a really good time, so we hope to see you there. Now, back to the show.
So Conor, I'm just sending you a link here of a photo, and this was from a story that went viral not so long ago. Anyone can look it up. If you'd even just look up kind of jeans, different sizes on Google, you'll see this girl's tweet, okay? Her name was Chloe Martin, a teenager from Scotland who took to Twitter to declare she had had enough of size discrepancy on the high street, okay? So can you see the photo there, Conor?
Yes, looks like a bunch
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a bunch of different types of jeans stacked on top of each other, kind of like a Russian nesting doll, but like different jeans.
Yeah. And what would you say about the jeans? Like, what? Like, are they all the same size?
Oh
or
no, they're
what?
all different sizes. Are you going to say they're all the same size and you are size blind? Am I size blind, Grace? Is that what
you
this
are
is?
size blind. These jeans are all the same size. They're all a size 12 on the high street.
What?
Now, I know anyone who looks it up, you can look up Chloe Martin jean sizes and you'll see what the photo is. But like when I say there's a discrepancy, it is insane. One size of jeans there, I would almost say are like for children.
Oh, absolutely.
They're all a UK size 12 that she got on the high street, and she put them all out
for ants. They're gaslighting people, is what they're doing. They're fucking gaslighting people.
It's a picture of 7 different pairs of jeans, all a UK size 12. And she just said, as she wrote beside the tweet, in case you've ever wondered why women get so frustrated with their clothes sizes, every pair of jeans pictured is a size 12. Now, that's what I mean. You know, when we were talking there about like, you know, how difficult it's been for us getting clothes. Like, I'm like, I don't think it's, like, I know some people do have it easier if you're smaller and stuff like that in terms of like the variety you have, but it's still a very frustrating process. These jeans are so different that I was like, that's what I mean about the 5 inches up and 5 inches down that any retailer can go.
Totally.
So
that's here's you know, a thought that I had very recently. I was like basically thinking, you know, why has this been a problem my entire life? Because why is it that in my 30s, let's say I'm being a similar size for the past like 5 or 10 years, right? More or less. Why has it been hard to find sizes for the size that I am now? But it was also hard to find sizes for the size I was before that. Let's say if I was smaller, if I was younger. Yeah. When I was a kid, when I was, you know, like a preteen, it was hard to find size for me. Why wasn't I just wearing clothes that were for kids who were a little bit older than me. You know what I mean? Like, so it just feels like it's just there's just never been a right time. So obviously the first thing to do is to kind of blame yourself. But like, you know, there was a time where I was probably like, you know, when I was like a teenager or preteen, I was probably like half the size, like height wise and weight wise that I am now. So there were clothes that were smaller. It's just they weren't being made in the fashions that were being marketed to my age or in the shops that I was kind of brought into, that kind of thing. And I think there is definitely a lot more kind of variety. Like, you know, like nowadays you'll see like little kids, like little boys with like cool jeans and like check shirts and all that. You're like, did not have that when we were kids. You know what I mean?
There's some kids that are just going. There's some kids that are just going around dressed like Mumford and Sons, or sort of like, you know what I mean? Like, totally. I'm like, this is the coolest kid I've ever seen.
Like literally. But that just was not an option when we were growing up. Like, you know, like designer, like ripped jeans and like belts and shit like that. It's like, no, we just like wore what fit.
Like, yeah, exactly. You always wore what fit, but I was always dressed in like biker shorts and like Gap jumpers. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oversized Gap jumpers. But no, it's a sad thing to say, why has this been a problem my entire life? And I am the exact same. Like, when you buy clothes that look good on you, that you love, that's your style, it is such an amazing experience. Like, it actually changes you so much.
Definitely.
And to me, it's so upsetting to think that myself or yourself couldn't walk into a shop on the high street.
Couldn't fit in the door.
Every time I got stuck in that motherfucker.
Like, the clothes were in there. I just could not physically get inside the shop because of my size.
I literally could see what I wanted to buy.
It's the door sizes that are the real problem, Grace. That's the next episode. Door sizes. Yeah. Sorry.
But like, it's very upsetting to think that anyone would walk into a shop and knowingly go, yeah, there's nothing in here for me. Like, as in, like, what's the point of me? I have to go to a specialist shop. And that in itself is absolute fucking bullshit. If you think about it, and I'm going to talk about plus size clothing now, but if you think about it, we are all part of this society. Every one of us. Like, all of us. Like, straight size people, disabled people. We're all, like, any race, creed, religion, we are all in this one society. And yet you can go into one of the biggest shops, whether it be Penny's, H&M, whatever it is, you know, one of these huge shops, and go, oh yeah, but we only do these sizes. We only do sizes for a certain portion of the society. And you're like, but you are a massive retailer. So why wouldn't every person be able to go in and find something? Like, why not? Mm-hmm. And that's what is so frustrating, is that, like, for so long we took it that actually we were the problem. When actually it's like, no, if you're going to, we all get to live in this society and we all earn money, pay money, whatever. We should be able to go into a shop and know that we can. Shouldn't have to be like, I'm going to have to go to a specialist store now because of my freak ass body. You know what I mean? Like, we all deserve to be able to go in and buy some clothes. Like, so to talk about plus size fashion, right? The debate over sizing definitely is an emotional one. You can hear it in Conor's voice. The guy's crying right now, okay? But for decades, major retailers generally only catered to basically white, slim consumers, but in America in particular. Of course, now even talking about America has gotten way more diverse. One of the biggest examples of this is actually Victoria's Secrets, which we're going to do an episode on Victoria's Secrets because it's so much. I know you don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now, Conor.
Well, I know Victoria's Secrets, it is, but I just don't. I
know you've never seen a bra in your life.
What is her secret? What is her secret? Grace, tell me. Do only women know this? I don't understand.
What is Victoria's Secret? The secret is she's a bitch. No.
She's a fat shaming. Anyway.
A lot of people always felt like they were turned away from shops like Victoria's Secrets and even mass marketed places like Forever 21 because they didn't carry a wider range of sizes in store. Even celebrities like Beyonce and Melissa McCarthy are calling out high fashion designers for ignoring millions of women with curvier figures. Melissa McCarthy is quoted as saying, if I had a friend who's a size 6, we can't go shopping together. They literally segregate us. Now, the thing is, part of it actually is a bit of our fault. I know I said we shouldn't blame ourselves, but Conor, here I am blaming ourselves, blaming the victim.
I know it's my fault.
Conor, it actually was your fault the whole time. Studies have shown that shoppers prefer to buy clothing labelled with small sizes because it boosts our confidence.
Sons of bitches.
Okay.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Well, okay, sorry. I see where you're going. It's like a thin inspiration kind of thing. It's like buying.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I will fit into this after my diet kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But the reason I jumped on that is because when I go into the store, it's only the fucking small sizes that are left. So I'm like, no, people are buying the larger sizes, but I get it. But because I have personally been like, probably don't fit into this today, but tomorrow, if I don't eat, we'll see.
Because this is the thing, right? So right now, let's say I think I'm in between two sizes, okay? Oh, but I'm definitely more on the upper size. And yet, for some reason, I have put off buying a pair of jeans in that size.
Yeah.
For a while now.
Yes.
Even though the other jeans, I basically need to buy a new pair of jeans. And it's like I won't go into the shop until I know I can fit into the smaller size.
The bigger ones will be more comfortable.
Yeah,
but,
and they'll look better, by the way. They'll actually look better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? On me.
However, I have been on a diet where it was told to me, don't buy large clothes sizes or don't buy any clothes until you've reached your goal weight or gotten close to your goal weight.
Go nude
because
you've reached your goal weight.
I'm like, hey, Grace, I'm on this diet where I can't get any new clothes until I lost some weight. So like, get used to it, okay? I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. You've got your prepped lunchbox with your high protein meal. I'm nude.
Yeah, I know that would be such a great motivation for someone to lose weight. It's like you can't wear any clothes until you literally lose weight. And you're like,
oh my God. It's the Adam and Eve diet. You just cover your genitals with a leaf until you reach your goal weight. And you can only eat
leaves.
You only eat apples. And actually, apples are forbidden. Apples are forbidden. But the reasoning was, and this was said on this particular diet, was that buying the larger clothes size is committing to staying fat.
Oh, for fuck's
sake. It's
sake.
committing to staying fat. It's saying, it's basically psychological. You going into the shop and going, if I buy this double XL instead of the Thinspiration XL, I am saying, I will be I'll be fat until for as long as I own this shirt, you know, and I internalize that.
Yeah,
I absolutely internalize that, and so it's so funny that when you were like, studies have shown, and I'm like, no, they haven't, and then I'm like, actually, my experience confirms that they have, and that's all that matters.
But that's when you so fiercely debated yourself there and then disagreed with yourself.
Was that a roller coaster for you, Grace?
That was like me listening to your split personality.
It's like there's that movie James McAvoy Split, and he's like 23 different. That was me. There was the person inside me who's trying to eat their way out of the fat prism, and then there's the real me that's just like, dude, you just gotta wear some shit that fits sometimes, you know.
But you know what's so funny? That split personality is exactly what diet culture is.
Yeah.
And also what the whole kind of like body positivity thing is now. I have a split personality constantly all the time about this because I will be like, don't diet, it's bullshit. Let's focus on health. Why is being fat bad? Like,
and who are you talking to, by the way, when this is happening? You're like, people, this is what we're going to do. You're just alone in your room.
No, I'm in the dressing room. I'm in the changing room in a shop. You're looking at my back titties.
Giving a presentation.
Okay. The poor sales assistants in the shops must be like, okay, listen, there's this mentally unhinged woman who keeps coming in.
We got another one. She's doing her TED Talk.
We got another fat person having a mental breakdown. But I am half the time, like, just being like, body positivity, love your body, blah, blah, blah. And then also being like, oh, but I can't buy the bigger jeans because then I'm committing to to the fact that I'm bigger. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, then it just shows you, once again, we always talk about this, even though we're on this podcast, even though we're talking about these things, even though we're like, we have an anti-diet view of things, blah, blah, we still have to fight these things that we've been taught our entire lives. And even you being taught that by it, how fucked up is that someone said to you, oh, don't buy the size you are, because then you're committing to that size, even though you're like, well, that's actually what my body will be comfortable in as well. Like, you know, when you get to wear clothes that fit you and like you're comfortable in, it changes your whole life. To wear something that is restrictive, you're constantly I have a belly, so I constantly, if I'm wearing something that's not my size, I'm constantly pulling it down. I'm constantly, do you know what I mean? I'm not comfortable. I'm very aware of myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's so wrong that someone said that to you. Like, it's so shit. And now that you have it in your head, you go, I can't buy clothes that, like me, I can't go those jean sizes up, even though my ass looks amazing in them. You know what I mean? But I can't, because then I'm committing to my ass looking amazing in those jeans.
Grace, the mental picture you have in your head right now as you're talking, you got to keep that. That's your fire. You know, that's like, you're like, just like, yes, my ass looks amazing.
But Conor, the thing that you just said about, you know, when you argued with yourself there about something that you then agreed
I made some great points on both sides. Let's be fair to me.
I feel like I'd go see a debate where you're just debating yourself. But it's a thing, basically the whole study that was done about people preferring, you know, a label with a smaller size is called vanity sizing. So something called vanity sizing, which is the phenomenon of ready-to-wear clothing that has the same like nominal size becoming bigger in physical size over time. Okay, it's well documented in the US and the UK. So basically, size inconsistency existed, at least, you know, like till they put it down in 1937. There's lots of years being thrown around. But say like in the States, in a Sears 1937 catalogue, a size 14 dress had the same bust size of 32 inches. Then in 1967, that very same bust size became a size 8. So it went from a size 14 to a size 8. In 2011, it was a size 0. So it went from a 14 to an 8 to a size 0, the same bust size.
It's so confusing. It's like the fucking Wild West. They're just having a free-for-all, just like...
But that's what I mean. Like, they're just allowed to do whatever they want. So some argue that vanity sizing is designed to satisfy wearers' wishes to appear thin and feel better about themselves. So that's the thing. So a woman back in the day in 1937 would have been a size 14. In 2011, with that same size, would be a size 0. And she'd go, oh, I get to be a size 0 now. Do you know what I mean? But it also kind of works in the opposite way as well. So designer Nicole Miller introduced size 0 because of its strong California presence. It introduced sub-0 sizes for naturally petite women. However, increasing size of clothing with the same nominal size caused Nicole Miller to introduce size 0, 00 and sub-0 sizes. Size 0, by the way, was like big in the noughties.
I remember that was like, a big buzzword for sure, yeah. The very like aspirational, unattainable kind of thing, yeah. Yeah. So today, clothing manufacturers are often using vanity sizing, the labeling of clothing with smaller sizes, so that a pair of size 34 slacks, as they say in the States, might be closer to a size 36 and perhaps even bigger. So it basically is just like the Old Navy slacks, Old Navy being an American brand, measured 5 inches bigger than their flattering label. So once again, the whole thing of like, you can be a size 4 in one brand and a size 10 in another or whatever, means that like people really are going into shops, and it is actually quite a mentally challenging thing, because if then they all go to a certain shop knowing that, oh, I'm a size like 10 in this shop, so I'd rather go and buy something in this shop than somewhere else where I might be a size 14. So it is kind of, because of our internalized fat phobia, we are also the consumer driving this issue, because we are saying we'd prefer to say we're a smaller size. Do you know what I mean? Meaning that like fashion labels then don't want to stick to certain sizing because they want people to buy it. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it's more complicated, but it's just the fact that it seems, I just want people to know that really a lot of places are cherry picking sizing. Yeah. And that's why it's messing with your head. What really it comes down to, it's like, if you have an idea in your head that like, oh, I've always been this size, or a size 0 is this like hot and kind of like, you know, chic kind of thing, that really isn't what matters. What matters is like how you feel and how it fits on your actual body, because being comfortable is more important than being like uncomfortable and, you know, maybe 5% more stylish, or like you think you're more stylish. Like, it's just comfort. Yeah, if you feel comfortable, you'll look better, you know?
Yeah. And also just like, it's trying to, this internalized fat phobia never stops, Conor. It never bloody stops. Now, with plus size fashion, okay, Conor, do you think, what do you think of an issue that came up where I think it was boohoo.com, where a dress that was a size 8 was more expensive when it was a size 18?
Okay, hang on. This is like one of those, like, you know, if a train leaves this station at 2 o'clock with how many passengers on it. Okay, so the dress was a size 8 and it was more expensive than a size 18, you say?
No. So you buy a size, there was basically on the same website, boohoo.com, a dress that came up as a size 8. If you selected as a size 8, you got your price. But then when you selected the size 18 size, it became more expensive.
Because there's more material.
That's what their argument was.
Okay. And that's what I would think. I would go, oh, fuck, it's more expensive, but I guess it's more material. But what's annoying about that is the default advertised item is probably like, here's the size 8 for $20, you know?
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, cool, that shirt that I like is only $20. You click into it. Oh, it's on a size 8. Let me just select my size, which is, it's 18. Don't tell anyone, whatever. Had a bit of a fun time over the holidays. Don't worry about it. And then you click on 18 and the price goes up like by fucking 20% or 30%, you know?
But do you think that it's right?
Oh, Jesus.
It should be more expensive.
No, God, no. I think I get the argument, and that's probably how I would take it if I was buying something. I would probably go, oh, that sucks. And I would go, I guess it must be because there's more material. But ultimately, I know all of this, 90% of this stuff is made like, you know, mass produced fast fashion, you know, probably like, you know, I don't know where Boohoo get their shit made, but like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you just buy is just such poor quality. It's like it's just churned out so fast. So I can't imagine a size 8 actually costs more to make than a size 18, you know?
And this is the thing, right? If you're mass produced, like whatever about a boutique or someone who's like making clothes themselves, do you know what I mean? When you're mass producing clothes, you're so right. These things actually, there's a very nominal difference between the cost. And also, I will say this, do they charge more for taller people, shorter people? Because like actually, wouldn't you, when you think about it, if you have one massive fabric and you're going to have to pay someone to make the difference between like petite and all this sort of stuff, the taller people aren't getting charged more from what I can tell. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's what I mean about being in a society like this. Like they're making such profits, these mass production companies. I don't buy the argument that it really is that it's more fabric that they're charging people for. Also, the plus size industry is like one of the largest growing industries. People are buying more into plus size fashion, which is a nice thing after hearing the vanity sizing kind of argument.
Yeah.
In the UK, plus size women's clothing has had an average industry growth of 1.9% from 2015 to 2020, with a market share of £734 million. That's $963 million. Okay.
And that's 500 billion.
In contrast,
yen.
In contrast, the UK's clothing sector overall experienced a negative average growth of 0.8% during the same period. So basically, plus size clothing grew and the rest of the sector decreased. Okay? So basically, at this stage, plus size apparel industry is estimated to be worth £24 billion. Or $24 billion and £18 billion. Okay? So for someone to say like, oh yeah, we're charging more because of, yes. I know, I keep forgetting the yen.
So I'm so sorry.
Callback. But you know what I mean? For someone then to use the argument of like, oh, because it's more clothing. It's like, okay, the argument isn't there anymore. People are buying into plus size clothing. You can't say that there's not going to be a profit made because you're using a bit of extra fucking fabric, which might be a few inches. Do you know what I mean? And like, even if it's not a few inches, even if it's a lot more, it doesn't matter. You're still making a profit, such a big profit on this.
But the volume,
and you're mass producing it. Yeah.
The volume that these mass produced things are being made at, like, you know, and how much they make and how much they sell it for, like, I doubt they're saying like, okay, let's sell like, you know, whatever units they measure, let's sell 100,000 tons of this batch of small clothes for this amount of money and 100,000 tons of this batch of large clothes for this amount of money. You know what I mean? I can't imagine this being differentiated like that. It's probably all just sold by in the one kind of thing. I don't know. I really don't know how that all works, but like, yeah, I can't imagine it's being differentiated
I think it's a big thing of actually the attitude behind the people who run the companies. Okay, so listen to this, because the attitudes have changed quite a bit, right? So Lululemon Athletica is one of the latest retailers now to offer inclusive sizing. The yoga outfitter announced it would expand its apparel to a US size 20, which would be a UK size 24, okay? The move came 7 years after the company's chairman said that some women's bodies just don't actually work for their leggings, okay? In 2005, the chairperson, Chip Wilson, great name,
that is a great name.
Selling clothes bigger than a size 12, a UK size 16, which is the cutoff for straight sizes, would be a money loser for his business.
Chip, you're a disgrace to your great name.
Chip, yeah, exactly. Chip, you should be chipper. But you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like now they're like, oh, actually, no, we do want it. Why? Oh, why suddenly is it not a money loser? Do you think it's not a money loser is because there's a greater demand for it, and you're like, oh, suddenly you're like, oh, actually, now we see every different type of like retailer selling like leggings to, you know, athletic leggings. Like there's already been a revolution in like the fact that people are like, oh, fat people do exercise, and you're like, I know, it's crazy, right? But
I
like
know,
we do.
But like the thing is like, and there's probably a much bigger conversation to be had here around kind of, you know, visibility and, you know, to do with diversity that probably not the most qualified person to have. But like we say like, oh, now there's more kind of like, you know, diversity and demand and stuff like that. But it's like these people, like these different, you know, races, different body types, like have always been around. You know, the demand has always been there. The people have always been there. It's just now it's more like, you know, visible in the market. Now there's more voices, you know, people have more platforms online to being like, you know, talking, like drawing attention to these things online. So we've just been kind of like suffering in silence for the past however many decades or hundreds of years that we can't find the right clothes.
No, you're so right, Conor. Like that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, but like now people are coming out of the woodworks. It's like, it's because of online. Basically, I would say things like Instagram and TikTok. I follow so many plus size women and men, and you know, they try on outfits, they do, you know, and now I'm like, oh yeah, like I can wear this stuff. The stuff that I've been told before, you shouldn't wear that, it's not going to be flattering or it's never going to fit you. I'm like, oh my God, they look amazing in that. Like I look at women who look like me and I'm like, God, they really look amazing in these clothes. So I'm going to buy these clothes. And because of that visibility, and like fair play to them for doing it, because I can't imagine what it's like to put yourself out online like that. You know, as a bigger person, I just don't, you know, it's hard enough getting on in society, but actually just going on and trying on clothes and putting yourself out there like that. They have done a great service to people, because now people are like, yeah, actually, I can look good. Basically, it's like people like Lizzo coming out and you're like, oh yeah, fat people are really right. And this is great. And I can like wear really nice clothes. Has really brought up the demand for it. And now suddenly these chair people who were like, oh, we never wanted fat people in our designs, which is basically what they were saying, are suddenly like, oh no, now we can make money from it. Isn't that mad? And you're like, yeah, you always could. You just didn't want fat people in your clothes. That's
and I think there's massive, you know, discrimination in the fashion industry, you know, that there are fashion designers who shall remain nameless. You know, I can't think of one fashion designer. It's not terrible. Give me one, like, you know. But who will actively say they don't want certain types of people wearing their clothes. And for the most recent thing I saw with that was, and I think you might have watched a few of the episodes of the Jonathan Van Ness's new show on Netflix. And he did an episode around, you know, non-binary people and non-binary, and he goes by non-binary and uses multiple pronouns. And
so we should say they them is it for Jonathan then?
Jonathan uses all pronouns. Jonathan uses he, she, they pronouns.
All right.
But they were basically saying that, you know, because Jonathan loves to wear like dresses and like different types of like kind of like, you know, really like, you know, colorful like outfits and that sort of thing. And, you know, fashion designers. And basically Jonathan was saying that there are certain fashion designers that are like, oh, will you not wear our clothes, please? Like they're not made for, you know, masculine people. And that's like being really yeah. So, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that, and I guess that's like a more like of an evolution, in the trans community, because there's more visibility there, but it's not totally out of this world to think that, fashion designers would be like, I don't want fat people wearing my clothes. They're not made for fat people. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I sound horrible saying that, but if they're saying that to people who are like someone who is such an amazing like public figure, like Jonathan Van Ness, who are saying, "Oh, we don't want you wearing our clothes." Like, what are they saying to the average person? Who they deem
what's so funny as well? I saw
fashions.
Jonathan Van Ness wearing like a skirt. I think it was ages ago anyway. And I was like, I really want to get that skirt. And I was like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who's wearing it if I really like it. I like it. Well, that brings me on actually very nicely to our last little segment here of celebrities and the clothing. Celebrities and plus size fashion. Okay. Because there's such a lack, like the fact that we're even like, oh, we find it difficult. You would think celebrities would find it a lot easier, as you mentioned with Jonathan Van Ness or anyone like that. But actually, this celebrities have come out and said they've even had issues trying to get designers, well-known designers, to just like design clothes for them. A.D. Bryant of SNL and Trill and Melissa McCarthy.
We love you, A.D. # Team A.D.
A.D. They both have had to come up with their own clothing lines. Pauline and 7-7 respectively, because they've had such issues getting clothing for their bodies. And these are women who are like in the, zeitgeist. They're a part of our culture.
Definitely.
But here are some like little anecdotes. Christian Siriano, who I think you might have, I don't know if you know, but he wears glasses. He's on Project Run Right. Love him. Was praised for offering to dress Leslie Jones, who's also on SNL. She's, do you know Leslie Jones? Yeah, she was in
Ghostbusters
and also, but Cristiano
she's in that new
Siriano
pirate show. She's in Our Flag Means Death, actually.
Oh, very good. Cristiano Siriano was praised for offering to dress Leslie Jones, okay? She tweeted about issues she faced trying to find a designer to dress her for the Ghostbusters premiere, right?
Oh.
And he said, "Congrats aren't in order, a change is." He tweeted, "It shouldn't be exceptional to work with brilliant people just because they're not sample size." In response to this, Barbie Ferreira, who I don't know if you'd know her, but she's on, I was about to say that very young show. What's the, oh my God, it's an extremely popular show. I'm totally blind here.
Like Euphoria?
Euphoria. Yes, Euphoria. She's on Euphoria. And she said,
the one where all the kids are all doing drugs and shagging each other.
Not for me now. But Barbie Ferreira, I think, is the one kind of like plus size person on that show.
Yeah.
And she tweeted, "Curvy women are not allowed to be edgy, not allowed to be stylish, or allowed to explore their looks like everyone else in the industry. So don't expect much from my designer looks in the future until people wake the fuck up. Hearing an actress in a huge film having similar struggles, I feel hopeless. Am I going to have to wear Sears when I win my Oscar?" Very good point. Dasha Polano, who was in Polanco, sorry if I'm getting that wrong, is in Orange and the New Black. Was in Orange is the New Black and In the Heights. Was rejected by a designer brand when she spent a ton of her own money on over the years. She was rejected by a designer that she had previously spent money on because she was not the sizes they have. She vowed that if she was ever asked to wear their clothes in the future, she would not give them the pleasure. She told Vogue, "I think that Hollywood-wise, people that have influence have to start making the change and speaking up." The same British Vogue said they struggled to find a designer clothes for Ashley Graham, who's a very famous model. She was doing their cover shoot on British Vogue, and the editor-in-chief called out the fashion houses that flatly refused to lend us their clothes and said they were travelling in an unwise direction. In her editor's letter, which is a massive thing for her to be saying, she said, "It seems strange to me that while the rest of the world is desperate for fashion to embrace broader definitions of physical beauty, some of our most famous fashion brands appear to be travelling in the opposite direction." Coach eventually gave clothes for Ashley for the British Vogue cover. Like, that's an incredible thing to me, that like someone who's on the cover of British Vogue, the epitome of like fashion in the UK, can't get a designer. And then we're like, I wonder why ASOS nearly shut down when I gave them my size. And you're like, I only got 3 links off this website that's meant to cater for people. Do you know what I mean? Like, we make it about us when it's like, it's actually the fucking fashion world's problem. Also, Tim Gunn, also of Fashion Runway fame, said, I love American fashion industry, but it has a lot of problems. And one of them is the baffling way it has turned its back on plus size women. There is money to be made here, but many designers dripping with disdain, lacking imagination, or simply too cowardly to take a risk, still refuse to make clothes for them. This is a design failure and not a customer issue. There is no reason why larger women can't look as fabulous as all other women. What's funny is, as well, I'm going to give 2 other examples that I just wanted to show kind of the disparity that's happened throughout the years. But even like, if you lose weight, like say like Khloe Kardashian talked about, she said, I definitely think the fashion industry and people in general look at me more now that I've lost weight. Even on shoots, I would never have had options for clothing. There would always be this attention on Kourtney and Kim, but I was too much work for the stylist, or they had nothing in my size. So that's really interesting when someone's like, you're too much work for the stylist. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And it made me think as well, do you know, you were saying like that you agreed that plus size fashion should be more costly, even though then you disagreed with yourself 2 minutes later. But like, even if you were to look at that, right? Say Kim.
How dare you? I never said such a thing. # Team Darren.
But you know the way, like, you say someone like Kim Kardashian, who has quite a large arse, fair play to her.
Grace, come on.
Should she have
Grace,
to...
you can't talk about a woman's body like that. Come on.
But she has a great large ass. She's
a curvy figure.
But should she have to pay more for jeans because there might be more fabric over her arse? But that's what I mean. Like, if you're going to go down this argument route, then I'm like, well, then surely Kim Kardashian's like, oh, well, I'm going to have to pay above the odds to cover my derriere. It doesn't make sense to me, because then you have to start going into like the nitty gritty.
It does. It does. And like, I mean, you know, like, I'm surprised that we don't do more stuff just around height in general. You know what I mean? Because someone who's like 6 foot is going to be absolutely wildly different. So the length of someone's torso is going to be, if they're 6 foot versus someone who's like 5 foot or whatever, you know, like, that's going to just differ like drastically. So it's just
Have you ever seen Keira Knightley's torso? It's amazing. Fair play to her. Go for her. But that thing is long.
It goes on for days.
Yeah, it goes on for days. And yet she is like clothed by Coco Chanel all the time. She's like the face of Coco Chanel. So Chanel are all over her. And I'm like, well, that torso's going to cost some money.
We need more material in the torso region. Oh my God, we're running out. The factory's going to shut down. Quick.
Okay, quick 2 other little anecdotes. The last, in Mindy Kaling's book, one of the last sentences of a particular summary of a chapter called When You're Not Skinny, This Is What People Want You to Wear. At a photo shoot for People magazine's Most Beautiful Feature in 2011, Mindy, who said she was obviously thrilled to be included, realised that apart from a depressing navy sack dress, the stylist had only pulled size 0 gowns. There was about 8 sizes. That's about 8 sizes down from what Mindy would typically wear.
Sure.
For breathing purposes. In the end, Mindy demanded that the beautiful pink dress she wanted to wear be altered on the spot.
Nice.
She said the seamstress literally cut open the back of one of the gowns and quickly added about a foot of canvas material to the back, pinned it together and put it on me.
Yeah.
And she said, like, she just demanded it. She was like, I'm not going to wear this really depressing dress because you haven't included me.
They haven't made a fucking effort.
Process.
They haven't made a fucking effort. At that level, they haven't made an effort. Like, that is so frustrating to hear. Because then that puts the person in the position of having to be difficult, you know, having to kind of speak up for themselves and set up for themselves.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, you know, you're going, hey, the thing that I want to wear, I am too big to fit into that. So you have to do some fucking, you know, additional work to make that happen. That's hard for someone to say. Like, you have to be fucking really gutsy to be able to, you know, say that in a room full of people, and then to just like make a stand like that is so it's so powerful, I think, of a thing to have done. But you shouldn't have to do that, you know. And
also, as we said, like, you know, being any person who isn't a straight size, whether you're fat, chubby, whatever you are, it is a very difficult thing to go, actually none of this fits me. this doesn't fit.
Oh, totally.
It is. I could cry if I had to say that in front of a bunch of people. I'd cry. I'd feel like I'd need to go into the back and be like, oh my God, get myself together. But fair play to her for going, okay, not only does this fit me, you haven't done your job right, because I am in this magazine. You knew I was going to be here. Have one look at me. I'm not going to be a size 0. So it's up to you to make these dresses fit me. And that's what I want to end the episode on, is clothes should fit you, not the other way around. You do not have to fit clothes. Clothes should fit you. And because of the way that the fashion industry is set up, it is letting down, I think, about 90% of people. And if you're in the 10%, God bless you. I hope you're having a great old time. But like, for most people, it is letting people down. You are not the problem. The fashion industry is the problem. And it goes so far back that, even listen to this, the legendary Aretha Franklin in the 1980s publicly asked both Calvin Klein and Valentino to please make 14s because their ranges didn't go beyond a 12. And these are US sizes. She said, I became enraged every time I see the Valentino line. Please, if you won't do a 14, you're making the girls who wear a 14 very unhappy. Please do me a special order. Like, that's, imagine like one of the greatest singers and entertainers of our time having to go out and go, hey, you are not making clothes for me. It goes like, even the people who are at the top. Beyonce said the same thing. Apparently, she was like, at the beginning, her mum had to make all of their clothes for Destiny's Child because they go into shops and they simply wouldn't have sizes for like 4 curvy girls. Who, by the way, like, we're still quite small girls.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. You are not the problem. If you've been the great Aretha Franklin, we need some respect up in here. Okay?
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Fad Camp. As always, we want to thank our producer, Darren Lee. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to review us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Great ratings and reviews really help more people find the show, and it would mean a lot to us.
Make sure to share the episodes with friends and family or on your social media. Every listen helps.
And we absolutely love hearing from our listeners, so please get in touch with any of your diet stories on fadcamppodcast@gmail.com.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Head Stuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.